Alright guys, welcome back. We've had a bit of silly downtime, but we are back in action here. Another best of 3 underway here for Copa America. This is, of course, the first qualifier of 4. And, spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map. He is the blue Protoss player. I do apologize. It's gonna be Ixtamakunxi.
You made it more anime.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to.
In the top right, as the red Protoss is HE's Huck.
Alright, sorry guys, to explain the giggle fit we're having right now, prior to the game I did go extensively out of my way to try and learn how to pronounce his name. I asked him the variations of it, and he basically said, good luck, have fun. That was his response. So, Sir Blue Protoss, I do apologize, as we have most likely said your name very incorrectly. Now, I don't know the rank... Sorry, I gotta get the giggles out of his system. I don't know the rank of the previous guy who came up against Huck. It was a very one-sided series. Huck took it with very little issue whatsoever. But this guy, he's actually Masters in previous seasons. You know, like I said, no one's Grandmaster right now because the ladder's locked, so we don't know where or what anyone is. But in previous seasons, he was a Masters player. PvP, Masters and Grandmasters isn't really that far apart. You know, you take TVZ, that's a whole nother can of worms. But in a mere matchup, honestly, I mean, I still give the edge to Huck without question. But this guy might be able to put up a bit better of a fight than the one we just witnessed.
Maybe. I feel like you can only say Master and Grandmasters isn't different if it's like the case of cheese and build order wins, because obviously when it comes to a Mater Macro game.
Well, that's kind of.
Oh.
Well, no, but that's kind of the thing, right? With PvP, it is oftentimes a little bit more cheesy. It is oftentimes more build order win. Like I wouldn't say there's always build order wins, but there's more build order wins in a PvP, I think, than there are in any other matchup.
Yeah, that's correct. Well. There's probably not going to be a lot happening, honestly.
Well, you know, that's kind of the subtle elegance of PvP, though, that I both love and hate, because you get a little, as a commentator, you get this really boring downtime, right? The first 5 minutes of the game, honestly, uninteresting. You watch build orders, you see something cheeky or a proxy goes down, but realistically, it ramps up slowly to what is some of the more intense fights, because in no other matchup does losing one unit matter so much, just keeping those stalkers alive. So, there's kind of the joke, you know, oh, you're Protoss, you're just gonna A move. But in a PvP, there's a lot of subtle things that happen in the middle of a fight, like pulling units back, pulling them off to the side. Concaves become a much bigger deal. I mean, I reference back to the series we just watched. Huck, you know, with probes, didn't lose a single probe to kill a proxy zealot. That is not easy to pull off.
They got through the intros.
No.
We also have Huck doing these very standard, as you said before, like blink openers are kind of the catch-all, especially 3-gate blink openers. You can throw on an extra gateway if you think you're actually going to be able to just all in and win pretty much, or you can just play off of it with a really good tech. And Huck seems to really do that. I think last season this was like his go-to build in PvP as well.
Well, I think the thing is you don't even need to go blink necessarily. Sometimes 3 gates alone is enough. I mean, he's got the pylons down. This is shaping up to be an all-in out of Huck. We're not going to see that Twilight Council come down unless he does some massive damage here. Unless he's worried about reeling off the back end of this. But a 3rd gateway is completing here for his opponents. Just to add some context, guys. I know it's probably just Tamakun, but he told us specifically we should try and pronounce the outside of his name too. So that's the attempt there. Anyways, Mothership Core is going to be focused down first. Keeping his back is going to be very difficult to do. Does get this a little bit dangerous. Probes getting involved with that slight bit of buffer as he sends these down to the low ground. High ground vision is a big deal when it comes to Stalker Wars, and Huck is going to go for that Twilight Council behind this. But the Mothership Core is going to go down. No photon overcharge. Oh, but that Sentry was a good force field, and these probes need to go back to mining.
Well, he needs another one.
Well, I don't know. He's got the Stalker lead. He's got to worry about the Zealots, though. I mean, the Zealots are going to be buffered. If they connect, they deal a ton of damage. The Sentry's probably dead. If he focus fires that one Stalker out of Huck, though, it'll go down very quickly before the shields regenerate. Hopefully?
Huck is doing a lot of damage here. He's on 3 gateways. He did throw out a Twilight Council, but not investing into anything quite yet. He might actually be waiting to see how this does, and then maybe throw down a Dark Shrine.
That's a possibility.
Oh, okay.
I like the way that this is being handled here by Tamakun. So he warps in those Zealots. It drives Huck back. I'm really mad that one Stalker never died. But shy of that, I mean, he's still got the potential to hang in here because of this choke, because of the ramp. It's not about getting another force field out. I really with the way he handled that first Mothership Core, don't agree with getting another Mothership Core, but it is vision that he's going to need.
Huck warps in his own sentry. This might just be to effectively contain his opponent. God darn it. Or he may actually try and push up here and use, that one key force field somewhere to push the Zealots off, something like that. Or he just might wait for Blink, Chrono Boost that Blink and try and end it on one base.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Huck, too, there's a lot of jokes, top 3 control, all that stuff. It's been said for years, but, I mean, honestly, when it comes to Blink above anything else, he does kind of have that top 3 control. He does handle it very nicely. I love this counterattack coming in out of Ixtamakunxi as well, sends some Zealots across the map. There is currently nothing at home, and while Huck can easily warp in his own units, that's the thing, though. It detracts away from that big push at the front of the base. So, sneaks these in here, gets to the middle line, full recall. This will break the contain, actually, quite nicely.
Yeah, did not expect a recall. Like you, I expected, his own 3 Zealots warped in. The tricky part is that sometimes they'll just click on all the probes so they get probe kills no matter what. Oh. That sentry, what a hero. Yeah,
not a hero. He's like the guy who's in the bathroom when they called the retreat. Comes outside and his squad's gone. Like, guys!
Did he see it? He's checking for the pylon.
He's running, though. He's like, nope, not gonna get me, Kappas! No way!
I was wondering if he was going to do that. No, but this is actually really good because Huck is moving across the map. It wasn't random.
This sucks, though. Our Blue Protoss player is taking a lot of damage on these Stalkers. Has to cancel that Nexus. That was a big resource investment that, if he could have gotten it up, would have given him a significant lead going to the mid-game here, but sadly had to cancel it. Now, he could try and throw it down once again, but Huck is choosing not to expand, but double Robo?
Double Robo, man.
All the way. Double Robo. It's so beautiful.
We haven't seen this since that shirt was made, Like, if you guys ever go to handsomnerd.net, free publicity right there.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a shirt. I was playing along with the wordplay.
It's a pretty good shirt. It was like a big thing, I think, like maybe in like the beginning of Wings of Liberty, where like double Robo on one base like a cheese boat or something. The point is, it is so long ago. But even me, who like goes through like archives of like old meta builds, can't remember exactly why.
Well, Huck's doing a fantastic job of catching the pylons around the map. He did rally to the top left, but didn't see that one. But without those proxies down, it does strip the offensive capability here from our Blue Protoss player. And Huck's army supply is looking quite massive. I mean, it's 10 Stalkers to 5. That's kind of the big number here. There's some Immortals, and that's great, but you need that magic number of 3 to really push this back. Oh, that time warp was about as useful as Huck's force field.
Hey, that could have been useful. What if the Immortal's on the way down? But no. We did see him cancel the second Robo.
Don't justify it!
No, it was actually like, if you're gonna lose it, because his force wasn't... Okay, anyways. If Huck watched this replay, I got your back, man. Right. He did cancel the Robo. He meant to get a Forge.
Oh, okay,
exactly
yeah, there
we go. I was like, what would you do? Like, double crank Immortals? I mean, that actually sounds like kind of a cool timing idea.
I think... Well, I think if you were doing that right off the bat, coming into a bunch of Stalkers, great. But, there's Zealots out now, there's his own Immortals, they wouldn't really be too cost effective. And he's so far ahead. I mean, having this Nexus down is big. Having the workers mining is even bigger. He's got a huge probe lead right now. And, these probes, guys, they don't really pay off immediately, but over the course of 5 minutes, that's more Zealots warped in, that's more Stalkers warped in. So this timing that Ixtamakunxi's hitting, this is great. This is his one chance to really get back in the game and attack. But the Immortals are shooting pylons instead of army units. This is not a good start to this fight.
Well, yeah. Exactly. That army looked so scary against what Huck had. He was, investing into upgrades and charge, which had not finished. He didn't have any, really powerful units such as his own Immortal. That looked really, really good. And then the Immortals, the force fields, it's not working.
It's too heavily one-sided now. I think Huck is going to hold this without question. A lot of these Stalkers are low, but I mean, the Zealots are still alive in the back. The sentries will be there for the buffer. This is his one chance to go, but it's not going to pay off is the problem. Oh, Huck even sniping off units here. I mean, like, it gets the Observer, blinks away. No issue whatsoever.
Yeah, using these Blink Stalkers to their fullest here. This is looking like an all-in. He's stopped producing probes. He's producing a Warp Prism, which is kind of a cool idea, and he does start up probes again, realizing this will not work.
Zealot's trying to get him over the fight, but the big thing is with Huck's Observer there, and the fact that Ixtamakunxi doesn't have one anymore, it makes it's so one-sided, not through the army value, but just through knowing when and where you can engage. Force fields go down. I mean, that didn't make sense in the first place. That really should have been Guardian Shield, I think. Baka.
No, it's like he did a time warp and a force field against Blink Stalkers. Like, you gotta realize this isn't gonna work.
Suckers disjointing a lot of these shots, really not taking a lot of damage. The only thing they're really getting hit by here, of course, is the Immortals. They don't have any projectiles, so they do those instantaneous connects. But Hawk just throwing down more gateways. This is kind of what we're talking about, that Probe League guy starting to compile really fast here.
Oh, that's what he's gonna do. He puts sentries into the War Prism. He's gonna try and, I mean, force field him off, but how much is this really gonna help?
Blink Stalkers, right? That's...
If he had if he was going like not Blink Stalkers but majorly like Roper units, maybe that's a cool idea. But you know, they just blink down.
This is the end of the game. This Archon's in the mix now too. These will soak all the hits necessary. I gotta tell you, this guy put up a really good fight versus Huck. There was a couple instances where maybe it could have gone his way, maybe not, but that was a much closer game for sure than the first one we had today. So Huck takes game number 1 here, guys, in this best of 3.
My friend sent me a pronunciation cheat sheet of Aztec names.
Okay, is
this gonna help me? I'm looking through it right now.
I don't know. That's what I was gonna say. Is there any context to that? Like, what the hell?
Because that's his name. It's like an Aztec name.
Is it? I thought we agreed it was like, or I thought the admin said it was like a Peruvian name or something.
Well, I think I don't actually know. I'm not gonna pretend to know anything about Latin America, honestly. But just the way that the X's are used, like I have to imagine it's like based off of Aztec names. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, okay, here the official pronunciation rules are these. If X is pronounced like the English sh, maybe that'll help us.
Shh, you know what you need to do is you need to XI the hell out.
Just X, man. You already got it wrong.
X, now it just sounds like we're leaking like coolant everywhere. Like.
Shh. Oh, he's not in this.
Alright, where is this gentleman here about the game? Huck was player 1 last time, right?
Rig it.
I have no idea if that will help or not. But let's go get all these things set up, guys. As we get into King Sejong Station for map number 2. And there we go.
Ixtamakunxi?
Are you casting a spell right now?
That's his name.
It's like Ixtamakunxi. These are like crushing all the herbs in like a bowl and dancing around the fire. Like, what's going on right now?
I'm gonna put my light on so I have the dramatic effect.
If he can't. All right, here we go. Map number 2 coming at you guys. King Sejong Station in another PvP. See you in a sec. Laying down the law in Twitch chat right now. No cheating here, guys. I did luck out this time. Player 2 is what I need to put him as every single time. This is game number 2 in a best of 3 for Copa America Season 2 qualifiers. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map from Evil Geniuses, it's going to be the red Protoss player, Huck.
I can't announce this player because I'm banned.
You got unbanned right away. Quit crying.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Never left as the blue Protoss. It is Ixtamakunxi.
I still think that just sounds like a spell more than a
It
name.
sounds very Japanese.
All right, guys. So once again, what'd you say, Ixtamakunxi?
Yeah.
We apologize to him and any of his friends and fans for pronouncing his name incorrectly. He encouraged us to go full ham with pronouncing it wrong, so we will just embrace that to the fullest. Anyways, game number 1 went in the favor of Huck, but you know what? It wasn't that one-sided. It got to that snowball point pretty quickly. I thought with that one big attack move he had at the end, there was a small chance he could have won that game. You know, perfect force fields, Huck messing it up, but I mean the special tactics with the sentry as well. I mean, it was all desperation and downhill after that one big engagement really did not go his way. So we'll see if game 2, if he's got something else in store, if he's got a plan, what the case may be. But I've got some faith in him. You know, I wouldn't say this is going to be easy for him to get to game 3, but I can definitely see the potential there.
Maybe.
The potential she.
I don't even know what you're trying to do with that. Like, what was that even?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I hate the X and the I on his name. For those who don't know, by the way, these are likely not even parts of his name. It's kind of like an old school thing to do on the internet. You don't really see a lot of people do it anymore, but you know, like you surround your name with like O's or X's, or like Once Upon a Time, you know, for those who played Brood War, you remember all the like XX, SSJ, Vegeta, XX type names that were out there. I imagine this is just kind of one of those names that he's kept for a while, and it is probably just Tamakun, but like I said, he told us to try pronouncing the outsides of it, so.
I'm gonna watch this cast just to hear how we pronounce it.
Nothing else has single-handedly thrown me off of a cast so much as trying to pronounce 2 letters in different orders.
There was this one guy, when he said his name really fast, it was like a dirty word. You remember that?
I know there was like gape, like G-A-P-E, and then horn. I think that's the dirtiest one I've ever accidentally said.
That was it.
Yeah. I remember that one too, because like I said it, and then I'm like, oh. As it leaves your mouth, you're like, I realize what I just did.
Oh, good days, good times. I remember when that was. I haven't seen him in a long time, but anyways. Huck doing the same build. So pretty much the 2 variations we've seen is whether or not he gets blink really fast, or does a 3-gate and then blink. That's basically it. So Ixtamakunxi has to scout which variation it is.
This is all your cast every time you say his name. I'm just gonna be used to this.
People in the Copa America Skype chat are backing me up on this one.
They're probably just like, Rifkin's such an idiot. Who let this guy have the cast? Well, guess what, guys? I'm the one with the computer. Deal with it. Oh. All right, so giggles aside, Huck is getting a little bit aggressive here with the stalkers. He did move out, but he did find the pylon, so forced to pull back and deal with these. He knows this could be an issue letting them complete. 3 stalkers of Ixtamakunxi coming across the map. Will catch Huck a little bit off guard here. I don't know if he'll get a stalker kill per se, but he is going to strip the shields from one. And with force fields, he should be good to hold the top of his ramp. I mean, this is the beauty of sentries. Until there's Archons out, until there's a Colossus out, force fields can hold all day. But that's kind of the problem. You don't want to get contained for too long on one base. He's going to try and catch some of the stalkers, I think. Yep, catches 2 of them. Probe gets to the top of the ramp. Will he throw down a pylon? Huck realizing this a little too late. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There we go. Nails it.
Three-gate aggression not working out quite nearly as effective as last game where Huck was doing it. He hasn't gotten in there, and Huck definitely has enough to actually throw this back. Has to be careful with his militia core.
Could recall. It could recall. Goes for the time warp instead.
Whoa, what? It was weird. And, like, time warp then also moves back to die.
Yeah, that was definitely a bit of a misclick there out of Ixtamakunxi, because I think That name. I think one of the things there is, of course, the priority on keeping your units alive. You come across with this force that you think is going to do more damage. If Huck, for some reason, only opened with 2 gates instead of 3, or 1 instead of 2 type thing, I mean, yeah, then you've got the power to really snowball ahead of your opponent through production. But Huck matching that of his opponent, 3 gates versus 3 gates, kind of expected, to be honest, and he's in a perfectly fine spot. Both players starting their Nexus. Hux might be in a little bit of danger, though, with a couple force fields coming across the map. This is that contain I was talking about before. Huck may not be able to leave his base and might be forced to just straight up cancel that Nexus.
Yeah, the fact that he's not on the low ground, well, even if he was on the low ground, that still probably would not have worked out. But there goes the force field, so Huck definitely not going to be able to keep this Nexus alive. It's gone.
Yeah, Pylon also going to get cleaned up here. So this is not looking so good for Huck. The thing
Whoa.
for... he's going to pick up a Stalker too. The thing at this point, though, guys, is like if you set up a contain like this, you have to choose like right now. You don't get to decide 10 minutes from now, 5 minutes now. You either have to put the hard contain on for a long time, or you put a soft contain on, disengage, come back with a maxed out army. Because right now he's buying himself all the time in the world. You know, his Nexus completes. He's gonna have a probe lead. If he actually, I think with his army size right now, he should probably just disengage, go back home, and max out his army supply, because he's gonna be able to do it much easier than that of Huck. But hang on. As I say this, bit of shenanigans on the way. Dark Shrine's going to lead to potential DTs, which is cool, but more importantly than this, the Archon can break force fields. It's a massive unit. This ramp won't be that big of an issue, but oh, not paying attention for a second, whiffs the force field. Oh, that was a really bad force field.
Well, with Blink, especially, like, he left the sentries because if there wasn't Blink, they force filled. With Blink, doesn't even matter if I got it. In terms of, like, him going for the Dark Shrine, I don't really like this choice. I mean, A, it gets scouted. Huck, you know, of course, setting up the Lucian Phoenix, he had enough energy for it. But it also, like, how much is it really going to help here? I mean, Huck went for a Robo build. It wasn't like he went for, you know, Blink, a 4-gate Blink or something where you don't get a Robo.
That's why I think it's actually going to be effective, though. Not because of the DTs, because of the Archons. I mean, the Stalkers are fantastic.
Archons, like, in the defense, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, whether it's the crush and offensive force field or whether it's defensive, I mean, the thing is, the Stalkers is going to take a long time to kill an Archon, and the Archon's going to do a ton of damage to the Zealots. If he can win the Zealot War through the addition of that Archon, you know, then he's just going to snowball from there. But Huck's getting ready to go for some harass, a 2-pronged attack being set up outside the front of the main, or sorry, blinks into the main and an attack right outside the natural. If he overreacts to the main, which looks like he's doing, there's going to be Huck's signal to go in. Force an overcharge to the natural necessary, not going down though, Time Warp's not even being installed. And looks like, oh, actually, a DT will clean up this in the main. So, hey, DT, woo! But
I thought he warped one in offensively.
I don't know where he'd do that.
It ran back home. That was a misclick. Yeah, it's running back home right now, going to the natural.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, he'll catch one of the DTs, maybe. One swing. Nice. Okay, so Huck, you know, he killed some workers with that attack, guys. That wasn't 1 or 2. That's 12 workers dead now. And we talked about this worker lead that had been obtained from our blue, from our blue Protoss player because Huck had delayed his Nexus so long. What Huck just did with that attack, and this is key, is evened up the game. This is no longer a scenario where Ixtamakunxi has got the capability to make 7 gateways. I mean, he's making 6 right now, and that's fine, but he's not going to have that overwhelming warping capability. He's not going to be able to bully Huck into submission.
As you said, he does have Archons, you know, which is going to be ahead of Huck right now, as Huck actually just getting a lot of Immortals. But I still, you know, the GT is just not really being useful. If Huck had done an all-out offensive on just the front, completely different story, right? He does open those Archons, the cannon does go down, and he probably beats back Huck, and Huck made a grave error. But because Huck went for the Blink Stalkers in the back, that was so much better than any other alternatives. Like, any other player probably would not have killed 12 probes and come back into this game.
No, definitely not. It's really hard to segment your forces like that too, because I mean, you guys got to consider. I'm sitting here yammering on about how big of a deal it is to lose 1 unit. Well, when you take 4 out of your army to go blink in the main, that's the same deal. But picks off a Stalker, disengages, using blink to his advantage in that tech wonderfully. But here come the Archons that we were talking about before. They might not do a ton of damage versus the Stalkers, but they soak those hits so wonderfully.
That's not enough.
Yeah, Mothership
he has to pull back. A little too aggressive right there. I mean, Immortals still pack a strong punch, and honestly, the Archon looked scary. The rest of the ground army did not look that scary, and this is what's happening. Emergency DTs, but there's 2 observers.
Yeah, if the observer wasn't there, then he holds this, actually, and it's kind of hilarious. But Huck's had the observer out since, like, moment 1 of the game. This wasn't, like, a last-minute thing. He was prepared for this. GG is going to be called, and Huck will take game number 2. 2-0, actually, so his second series of the day as well. Oh, look at this guy. So nice. Good luck on the tournaments.